I am raw to the bone. Welcome to Happy Thursday, y'all. Come on in, come on in. The week is almost over. These days are flying. I'm going to start y'all out with the positive vibes of the day because you know what I say. It's going to be a what? Always going to be a good day.
Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun.
Step two,
get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody
hey,
just do your thing. Wake up,
today's going to be a good day.
wake up,
Today's going to be a good day. You too.
today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
Today's going to be a good day.
wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
There you go, y'all.
today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Ha. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do.
The aftermath of preparation.
Good food, good mood.
Blood in circulation.
One step at a time.
Yeah, that's how you make it.
Set a goal.
You control and the steps you take them.
I try to
pick one thought, have some concentration.
And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day and call it replication. What?
Wake up,
Today's gonna be a good day.
wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Come on, y'all.
Wake up,
Today's gonna be a good day.
wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Hey.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season. yo.
Hey.
Sometimes I'm high.
Other times I'm barely breathing, y'all. Good morning, Dad.
Gotta fight night.
From the demons, y'all. Negative thoughts.
Poison the ride.
Hey.
Head full of flies, so here come the
Good
fire.
morning, Hillbilly.
They'll never stop unless I can swap.
All the bad for the good.
In my hair,
Hey, what? Hey, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive vibes are overtaken.
I got patience.
One day at a time, that's how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes. Stay away from all that negative shit. What? I live my life in my head.
Like a narration.
Don't expect greatness, do my best, man. I take it. Hey, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a
Good day.
hey.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day. Good morning, Pat. Hey, good morning, guys. You know, I feel like I just left y'all motherfuckers yesterday. That was deep, y'all. Y'all been coming on this show talking some deep stuff. Yesterday we talked about, equality and the women's rights movements. Did that include Black women, right? Because a lot of people in the Black community talk about avoiding or unlearning the ways of European America, but yet a lot of the Black man is still walking around having expectations of their Black woman as it aligns in the European culture. When you say women, your Black women should be submissive, your Black women should be this, your Black women are too independent. We've shown history, we've shown stats that Black women have been in the workforce, Black women have been out there. But the one thing that we did recognize yesterday, okay, is that we have a lot of negative shit to say about Black women, right? So today I want to focus on positivity in our Black women. Like, give me some, some judge about what great experiences you have from Black women. What are the things you learn from Black women? How do Black women in their strength and independence add to our communities? How do we help grow our communities? Supporting our men, how does that benefit all of us in the community, right? I'm still stuck on the fact as to why men would want a woman that's not independent, right? But this topic we're going to be talking about for a long time because, the thing is we got a conversation going and we got men engaged, we got women engaged. And so that is the beginning of something. That is the beginning of something. Hillbilly, your DNR was canceled for your floaty for the float river park. That's okay. It's going to happen, Hillbilly. I have faith in you that you're going to open up that business. All right. October 3rd. It'll be here in no time. That's true, Deb. It will give Hillbilly the opportunity to strengthen his argument. Yes. Hillbilly, you got this. All right. And so with that, TikTok lovers, if you want to be a part of this, you got to come on over to YouTube. Link is in my bio. But in the meantime, between time, I'm out, y'all. All right. All right. I had to end my TikTok live. Wait, let me see if I made it to 14K. Did I make it to 14K? No. I still ain't make it to 14K. All right. Tracking these followers and shit like that be driving me crazy because I remember when I first started TikTok, right? I was struggling to get 1,000. Good morning, Mika. 1,000 followers on TikTok. It was like a struggle. And then one day I woke up and I had 1,000 followers. And then after that, they just kept coming. Now I'm up to 13.9K. I know that's not a lot. There's a lot of motherfuckers on here that got millions of followers and shit like that. I'm still straggling and struggling on these social media platforms. I also think that has a lot to do with my age bracket because there's older people on there with a lot, but they doing a lot, and I don't have the energy to do a lot. And I'm not showing a lot. So, I appreciate the 13.9 people that follow me though. I do. I love them all. All right. So come on in, y'all. It is Thursday. There was something I wanted to talk about this morning. 1 second before. Oh, I got a question for y'all. There was a few things that I wanted to talk about. So I saw, before I get into reading a positive thought and before we get into the topic, while everyone is joining in. Good morning, Shirley. We're still on the topic of women, but hopefully today our Black men could join in and tell us some of the positive things that Black women have contributed in the community and what they respect about our Black women. I would love to hear it. And even women, what women, Black women, you have in your life that you've experienced that provided you with some positive outlook, that has shown you leadership, someone you looked up to. Let's talk about the positivity in our Black women, right? That's going to be the focus today. Okay, this is going to be interesting, all right? But I was scrolling through social media, and why this family had a whole rat nest in their refrigerator. See, this is the shit. This is the shit that I this is why I don't like potlucks and eating at people's house and shit like that, because these people, underneath your trays, you know how you have the trays in the refrigerator that you pull out? Well, underneath one of the big bins, there was a nest. A fucking rat's nest in the refrigerator. Okay? And the sons took the tray out, realized there was a nest. The mother rat was in there with her babies. They literally put the rats, the mama and the babies, in the bin, the plastic bin. And they were like, oh my God, look at them. They're so cute. They're so cute. I was like, what in the fuck? You got rats in your fridge. And how long have the rats been there? Like, you didn't. Like, this motherfucker had babies and a whole nest built. Be careful whose houses y'all eat out of, okay? And the crazy thing is the refrigerator itself did not look dirty. It did not look dirty. So I'm trying to figure out, how did you not know? So immediately I'm itching and shit. Immediately I went and looked at my refrigerator this morning because I'm like, I pull out my trays and shit and I clean my refrigerator at least once a month, or like the trays, taking the trays and stuff out. And so I'm like, how do you miss a whole rat trap if you clean in your fridge on a regular basis? I didn't even know rats liked being in the refrigerator, like just chilling, literally. don't know. I'm baffled. That video is floating around out there. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I posted a video yesterday. It was a side by side, a remix video where this woman, white woman, was talking about how, to save water, her and her family go down to the river on Sundays and they get a few gallons of water, and they go in the house and they fill up the tub in their house and they bathe in that same bath water every day up until the next Sunday, right? She says she gets in the bath water, they wash off, okay? And all the oil that was on your body is sitting in the water. She says, so the next day when she gets back in and the day after she gets back in, all that oil is being reapplied on her skin. And that's why her skin looks healthy. I was shocked, y'all. Because I was like, y'all are getting in the same water every day from Sunday to the next Saturday. Everybody? This is why pH balances be thrown the fuck off, because I really need to ask the men and the women, right? We be out here dating and shit. Do y'all ever ask about people's hygiene, or do you just assume because they don't smell that they got a good hygiene? I'm asking because I had to ask myself this, and I never ask anybody about their hygiene habits per se. I kind of watch them. I kind of observe, I see how they move and what they do, and I determine it based on that. But I'm trying to figure out if this should start being a question, right? Because I noticed that more and more women complain about their pH balances being thrown off. See, years ago, we didn't really know, well, I didn't really know how you get beat. Like, I knew that you get yeast infections when you wear thong and your jeans are too tight, or, you sleep with a man, or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about people you date, hillbilly, not just people, any old body. People you date and people you sleep with. That's who I'm talking about. And so, other than that, I don't care either. pH balances be thrown off, right? But more and more women are recognizing that their pH balances are being thrown off. This is if you're having, well, even with condom sex, because some people are allergic to condoms, right? But more and more women that I talk to these days are recognizing that their pH balances are triggered based on their partner, right? Now, if your partner is sleeping with multiple other women, it could throw off another woman's pH balance, right? If those women are not hygienically put together, it could throw off another woman's pH balance, right? And this man is carrying that around from woman to woman to woman. And so when I watched that video about this woman saying she didn't bathe, right, but once a week, and she bathes in the same, good morning, Aquanda, in the same bath water, it made me think, do these men even wonder, or these women ever wonder how often these people that they sleep with are bathing? Because I've run across a small population of people who do not bathe every day. Like, some people think it's okay not to bathe every day. And I don't know about y'all, but I got to bathe every day, if not twice a day, right? Between the hot flashes, between working out, or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? I can't, I don't know. I got to wash. And I feel like every woman's cootie cat is going to smell if they don't wash every day. Unless they're doing hose baths, and those gross me out. Like, washcloth on the sink, washing your coochie and then hanging it back up. No, just get the fuck in the shower. Y'all, did you see that video? It had me thinking, I need to start asking questions like, how often do you fucking bathe? That needs to be a question. Because, baby, but now I realize that I think that she just says this shit for followers, because this morning when I got up, I found another one of her videos. And I literally let the video play about 5 or 6 times, and I just stood there and stared at it. And then I said to myself, self, she's doing this for likes and followers. She is. She's doing this for likes and follows. There's no fucking way some of the shit she talks about on her page is real. None of it, as a matter of fact. Right, y'all. Because this morning's video I ran across, same lady, she said she don't wipe after she used the bathroom, after she pee, and after she doo-doo. She don't wipe, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, she's trolling. She just want followers and visitors, right? She said, if we were meant to wipe with toilet paper, right? Why aren't the animals, why are we the only creatures that wipe our butts with toilet paper? Everybody else just drop a deuces and keep walking. Like she's comparing humans to animals, how dogs just drop a deuce and keep walking. So that's what she said she do. She drop deuces and pee and keep walking. And I commented on that video this morning. I said, okay, this video now tells me that you just on here trolling, because it ain't no damn way you not wiping your ass and you got feces in the crack of your butt and you getting in the same bath water every day. There ain't no fucking way, with a whole bunch of other people in your house. And so it just amazes me what people do and say just to be on social media. But she had me with that bath shit. But I agree. I think she's a troll, because come on. She was like, look at my face. It's so clear. I don't have breakouts because, I was like, That's true, Hillbilly. What products you use is important as well, especially for diabetes. That is true. My mother has type 2 diabetes. I know a few people in my life that have diabetes, and you're absolutely right. Their skin requires, they get extra dry, so they require extra moisture, right? And you're right. You got to be conscious of your health to be conscious as to what products you use. Now, does anybody on here watch Love and Hip Hop? This is before I get into the positive thought. I am going to read the positive thought in a few minutes. But anybody on here watch Love and Hip Hop? So Spice, the Caribbean singer, yeah. And Erica Mena got into it. It's all over social media. And, Spice said some shit about Erica Mena's parenting skills. This is on Love and Hip Hop, right? And this is where these shows be ratchet. And Erica Mena went off, flipped the table over, cussed her out, and called Erica Mena called Spice a monkey, a blue monkey, right? She said blue monkey. She didn't say black monkey, even though the episode after they started twisting the words and saying she said black monkey. But neither here nor there, she said monkey, right? You look like a blue monkey. So Mona Scott came out with a response to that, right? Because of course the show was going to take hits, right? And they announced that they fired Erica Mena. But this is where the bullshit is. Y'all do know that this show is recorded months ago. That was not a live recording. That show was recorded months ago. And this is where Mona Scott is playing in all of our faces, right? And this is where I put the blame on Mona Scott and Love and Hip Hop corporation, enterprise, whatever the fuck it is. Because y'all heard it months ago when it was filmed, right? Erica Mena should have been fired months ago when it happened, right? And the clip should have been completely removed. Like, we didn't even have to see what Erica Mena said. This is the messiness. See, this is the stuff that I be talking about in our Black community. You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff I be talking about. When I say we don't help ourselves at times. Like, we expose our own raggediness. Mona Scott is in a position to put out shows and shit like that, right? Now, for me, in the beginning, when she got out and she got her foot in the sand, she started out with this ratchetness. But I feel like at this point, Mona, you need to grow the fuck up. You and your show need to grow the fuck up, right? The Black community already has enough ratchetness. And these are the women that the men yesterday are calling the average. These are the women that the men on the show yesterday were calling the average woman. And I'll be looking at the show and I'll be like, I don't have one friend or know one person that acts like them. Okay? Mona Scott, in my opinion, was hella wrong. Okay? When this filmed months ago, it should have been removed. Erica should have been fired. And Spice should have been put on warning because one, Spice turned around and called and said Erica Mena looked like a giraffe. Now, monkey is aligned with racism, right? But we say Black people can't be racist. Erica Mena, what is she? Spanish, right? Right? Which is Black, right? So we can't say it's racism. It's a racist slur, right? But then for Spice to turn around and call Erica Mena a giraffe, even though giraffe is not aligned with racial slur, you're doing the same similar thing. So I feel like Mona, you should have deleted that whole fucking clip. You should have changed the dynamics of where the show was going at that point to remove that racist prejudice air from it. You should have addressed it. Instead, the money, this is where we get in trouble in our community. The money was more important. The views were more important. So she aired it. She let us see it. And then she came out with a response that said, oh, we fired Erica. She's not going to be in next season. Really? Now you tell us that? You could have avoided even having us see it. But instead, we got people in positions that have the ability to put information out there, and look at the fucking information they putting out there. Black women fighting with Black women, calling each other racist slurs. And Mona, being a Black woman herself, could have changed the dynamics of what we saw. This is where we hurt ourselves in our communities. This is a perfect example of how we fucking hurt ourselves, right? And these are the women that our men are basing the average woman on. This is sad. Meanwhile, we got Ciara, we got Janet Jackson, we got other artists that are out there, singing and fully clothed. But we focus on Love and Hip Hop as the average woman. So I'm just here to say, if you ever find yourself in a position where, and you're right, y'all, toxicity sells. You're right. And it sells because we keep watching. And I stopped watching Love and Hip Hop for a long fucking time, for like over a year, because I was so tired of the toxic energy from it, right? And I forget what pulled me the fuck back in. Oh, I wanted to know what was going on with Bambi and Scrappy. That's what pulled me back in, because I know some people don't like Bambi, but I absolutely love Bambi, right? And so I was nosy and wanted to see what was going on between Bambi and Scrappy. And so that's why I started watching, and then I got sucked in, right? But I'm so disappointed in myself, because I'm like, why the fuck are you watching this? And that's the point, y'all. Mona's going to get the paper by any means necessary, but we're selling our souls. Why are we selling our souls? To make this money, right? Somebody said on here the other day that we don't control the media, right? We don't control the music industry. We don't control, none of these things, right? And that's true. But we can control what the fuck we sign up for. We can control what we watch. We can control what we support, right? We can control what we buy. So So although you might not be sitting at the CEO spot at CBS, NBC, Lifetime, BET, or wherever the fuck it is, you got control as to what jobs you take and what you turn the channel on in your house. And this is how we take back the control. Just because they black, we don't have to watch them. If we don't agree, exactly, Debbie. I used to thoroughly enjoy watching Ratchet Mondays, but I had to take a step back and say to myself, why am I indulging in this foolishness? So I stopped. The funny thing, you should ask, because Jocelyn is walking around with her mugshot on, t-shirt, and baby, I downloaded Zeus Network because I said, let me fucking see what goes on the Jocelyn Cabaret. Right? When I downloaded the Zeus Network, it said $5.99 a month. I said, fuck that. Then I went to the Ghost website, the website Ghost gave me, because then I remember, because I've been watching the fuck out of that FD movies, right? So I went there and searched for it, and it was on there, just like Ghost said it would be. Everything is on there. I clicked it, and as soon as it started, I said, I couldn't do it, y'all. It was on my TV for like 3 minutes, and I turned this shit off. I said, no. I will not do this to myself. And I turned it off. Let's talk about that. Juanita asks, what do you think about Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson asking people to donate to Maui when we in a recession and people can't manage to barely live? Why is she not hitting up Hollywood millionaires? What do y'all think about Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock," aka The Rock, asking people to donate to Maui? Now, if y'all remember, someone said the one house that didn't get burnt the fuck down, was Oprah's house. So it looked like, if that's true, allegedly, right? That's what somebody on the show said, that they heard that was Oprah's house that got saved. If that is her house, Oprah, I live in a whole apartment. You're not asking me for nothing. I don't, but the fuck. Okay. I did see the video with them asking for donations. And I was like, they could have gave a gala event and sold plates, 1,000 per plate or some shit like that, and invited all their rich friends to eat some dry ass salmon and some shit, and collected all that money from them, right? Okay. I mean, I don't know. We are in a recession and people are struggling. And, it's unfortunate that our country has given other countries millions and millions of dollars. And then when it comes to the countries within, the states within the United States, they looking sideways, and we got to start begging for people to donate. Y'all said I didn't have a problem with it because the more money, the better to help. Hillbilly said they are in on the burn. This was a staged event. Where are the children? What do you mean, where are the children? What do you mean, where are the children? Oh, those kids, the ones who are missing, Hillbilly. Okay, got it. The night, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they burnt up. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but did you see the fucking shit is burnt the fuck up. It reminds me of, I'm watching this series on Apple TV, and it's called Invasion. And it's very interesting. And, when I see the stuff that's happening around the world, like, movies, to me, like, I don't take none of them lightly anymore, because I, Robot, and all these movies that came out, it's like our world is turning into what we saw on TV, or what we see on TV. And so in this series, Invasion, it's about extraterrestrial activity coming to Earth, but it causes so much destruction in various states and countries, right? It's not just in one country, it's not just in one continent. You know, the extraterrestrial activity that came started fires, earthquakes, started all of this shit, right? And so, when I look around, not to say that there's some extraterrestrial shit going on, but, I do have a friend or maybe two that believe in UFOs and shit like that. And so when I watch these movies, sometimes it make me think, because we got a lot of disaster happening in this world. Like, what is going on? Canada burned, California burning, Hawaii burnt the fuck up. What is going on? Hillbilly brought up a good question. They said families went into that water with children and none came back. What happened to them? What happened to these kids? Oh, there was no school. That is so sad, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and read the positive thought because that shit is sad. So September is the month of trust, okay? September 7th, that's what today is. Oh my God, I can't believe we're in September. People are posting their kids going back to school pictures. I'm like, oh my God, I am glad. Oh, complete media blackout. Damn. I'm glad. This might sound mean, but I don't mean it to be. I'm glad I don't have no little kids. Mm-mm. That I have to get up in the morning and get ready for school, pick up, do all this shit, figure out after school activities. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm so glad I don't have to do this. But I blessings for all those that have little kids and they're getting their shits together for school and stuff like that. But baby, I asked my son yesterday. I was like, "Did Erie start school yet?" He said she's starting today. And I was like, oh my God, like with the homework and the this and the that, it's just a lot. I'm tired thinking about it already. I'm tired thinking about it for y'all. I don't want it. September 7th, I experience and express the power of trust because I know how to stand up to the dark forces. Can you remember a time when, after pulling yourself up out of the muck and mire of feeling bad and doing bad, you have found the joy of doing good, only to have someone bad or something bad push you back down into the mud? Mm. There is a dark force and energy which can enter your life at the most inconvenient times in very disruptive ways. Some would call this force Satan or the devil. Others might say that it is negative energy or bad vibes. If or when this force enters your life, you might call it trouble, problems, a crisis, a challenge, difficulties, or issues. Whatever you call it, be aware. When the dark force enters your life, it has only one intent: to whip your butt. That's right. The darkness is out to beat you down. If you are smart, you won't fight back. You will surrender, cover your face, and pray and trust. If you try to defend yourself against darkness with brute force, you are going to get beat up very badly. Your vision could be smashed. Your hopes and dreams could be shattered. In the realm of darkness, you better know how to protect yourself. Don't try to fight the darkness alone. Darkness is not afraid of you. When you know that you are getting beat up by the dark forces, don't try to prove anything to anyone. Lie down, cover your face, play dead. Raise your voice in prayer. Trust that your help is on the way. And remember, God is my defense and my defender. Whatever you believe. Until today, you may have thought it was noble to try to fight off the dark forces when they enter your life. Just for today, stop trying to prove that you are stronger than the negative energies and dark forces around you. Protect yourself with prayer and trust. Today, I am devoted to calling on the great defender if I am confronted by forces of darkness. Ooh. The first paragraph took me out when it said, can you remember a time when after pulling yourself up out of the muck and mire of feeling bad and doing bad, you have found the joy of doing good only to have someone bad or something bad push you back down in the mud? This, I have to put a star around that in this book, because that has happened to me several times. Like, I mean, I feel like there has been points in my life where I've been up. Like, I'm up now. This is one of those times in my life where I'm up, I'm happy, I'm living my life. That doesn't mean that my life is perfect, right? It just means that I'm living my life, I'm happy, and I'm getting through it. And any dark forces that enter my life right now, I still struggle with them, try to be stronger than them. But this is a reminder to me that I don't need to fight against the dark forces, right? I don't need to fight against the dark forces, because fighting depletes my energy. It frustrates me. Sometimes it makes me toxic, right? You have to know when dark forces enter your life and things are trying to take you 10 steps back, right? You got to stop, right? This is what this is saying. Stop, surrender to that shit, and trust that everything is going to be all right. If you believe in God, drop to your knees and pray about that shit, because you know what? Trying to fight against it, trying to be stronger than the dark forces, it's not going to do shit but fuck with your integrity, fuck with who you are as a person, fuck with your journey, where you are at and where you're trying to go. Sometimes you just got to give in. That's what this is saying. Don't fight back. Surrender. Cover your face, pray, and trust. Okay, I have been in great places. I could have had so much money in my life right now, but every time I get up financially, some shit happens and it takes me down. Like, it just happened recently, right? I have a lawsuit going on, and you know, I was about to pay off some debt, some credit card debt, and my attorney called me and was like, "You got to pay the expert witness $3,800," and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, seriously, like, I fucking just got to a point where I could breathe a little bit. Okay, because I be living my life on the edge. I got to the point where I could breathe a little bit. And this MF sends me an email talking about, you got to pay the expert witness $3,800. I was like, Lord, have mercy on me. Normally, I would have shed a tear. I would have panicked. I would have felt defeated. I'd have been all over the place with that. But I took a step back and I took a breath. And I said, Lord, help me. I'm just trying to live my life and do the right thing. And every time I think that I got to step forward, there's something to take me a step back, right? And this came out of the woodwork about 2 weeks ago. And I said, I got trips planned. I got things I want to do. And now this lawyer wants $3,800 for my expert witness. I had to scrape up this money, y'all. I did. And it took me a few steps back because it affected what my plan was for that money originally, right? And so it kind of threw a wrench in things. But, you know, I woosah'd. And I said, you know what? Don't fight against this, right? Don't fight against this. Close your eyes. Give him the money. As long as you can pay your rent, as long as you can pay your bills, all right? Everything else will come. Everything else will happen. Okay? I mean, and that's where I'm at. I'm still there. I'm still praying my way through this, right? Because I watched that money just go. And my credit cards are still looking at me like, what? Bitch, you was just in Mexico. What? And so, I could not let that tear me down mentally. And so I paid it. I closed my eyes and I woosed and I said, Lord, help me. And I left it alone. And I left it there. Yes, my stomach has been a little upset on a regular basis because, I'm trying to still consume the fact that I had to give up almost $4,000 of my money, right? And my belly hurt and I'm on the toilet every now and again still. I'm still getting through it. But it's not as bad as I used to, because before I would be so fucked up that I would be throwing up. I mean, my anxieties are crazy. Like when my anxieties are triggered, my stomach hurt. I feel nauseous. I can't function. I'm just all fucked up in the head. But this says, don't fight it. Surrender. And that's where I'm at. Oh, and that's where I'm at with it. Right? And so when you are doing good and you just pulled yourself out of muck and mire, as this says, something might come along, some dark force might come along, or something might come along and take you steps back, right? Don't fight it. It's life. It's life. And so I had to tell myself, don't worry, Raw. You're going to be all right. Just pay your rent and pay your bills. You'll be all right. All the extra shit you might have to tone down on for a little while, but you'll be all right. And I'm still convincing myself of that shit, because the fuck? This is where I be like, I need my man. This is where I be like, where the fuck is my man? Or my woman, head of household, somebody. And this is the shit, when we talk about Black women, this is the shit that I reflect on when I'm going through shit. I be like, oh my God, here I am out here as a Black woman. I feel like I have a good heart, right? And I'm out here grinding, right? And so when a man sees me grinding, I would really hope that he appreciates that aspect of me instead of looking at it as a negative, right? And when a woman is single for a period of time and she's going through financial ups and downs, or mental stresses, or raising children, or whatever, she gets into a mode, a routine, she becomes independent by, like I said yesterday, no choice. And when men enter their lives, sometimes it's hard for a woman to adjust to a man being in her life. Like for me, I know I'm gonna try to do better in my next relationship, but it's hard for me to be around. I mean, it's hard for me to adjust when a man is in my life, because I have been surviving for so long as a single woman. Yes, I've had relationships, but I'm talking about in between, right? As a single woman, that when a man enters my life, that independence is there. And they're bothered by it, but I can't help it, right? And I will hope that more and more of our men learn to appreciate that, because a lot of women are independent based on their trauma and their experiences in their life. You know what I'm saying? But in that, women and men, when you start to have experiences in your life where there's dark forces that come in, surrender to it, right? But, appreciate those that have overcome. Liebert, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want no Similac. I don't want no fucking Similac. No, thank you. You said I need a younger man. You see, I got the fan out now. They can't. No. You made me get a hot flash even talking about a younger man. No way. What could a younger man do for me, Liebert? Honestly. Not that he can't do anything for me, but, well, I shouldn't say that, because they should be able to do anything that an older man could do, but I don't know. I just not into younger men, and I think it's a trauma. Honestly, it really has nothing to do with younger men and their ability to not be able to take care of me. That's not it. That really is not it. I think because when growing up, my mother always was attracted to younger men, and it irritated the fuck out of me. True story. And she knows it, right? And I've said it on here before, and it's my truth, right? And I was irritated by it because I'm like, why the fuck? I didn't say fuck, of course, but why the freak are your men younger? And she was like, that's what I like. She's still like that to this day. She don't date, but if she had her choice, she would go younger. And I remember one time when I was living in South Brunswick, New Jersey, true story. And my mother was there, and she said her friend was coming to pick her up. He got to my door. He knocked on my door. He did. If my mother was on here, she'll tell you this was a true story. He knocked on my door, and I went down to the door, opened the door. When I saw him, I was like, who you here for? And he said he was here for tea. I think that's what he called. I can't remember. I slammed the door in his face. I did. This motherfucker was 30-something years old. My mother at that time was 60, maybe. This was a long time ago. She might have been 60. And he was in his 30s. And I slammed the door in his face. And I came back upstairs in my house, right? And I said, what in the... My mother was like, why would you do that? I'm like, what is that? I was so mad. And this guy stuck around for a long time, you know. And you know, he took care of her a little bit or whatever. But I could not adjust. I could never adjust to her dating younger guys. And so I think it's a part of that for me. And the second part of it is my son being 40 is a big deal for me because I don't want to date people that I think could be my friends, my son's friend, right? That's not going to work for me. So I think those are the two primary reasons why I don't date younger men. Honestly, those are my two primary reasons. Oh, I need a young, successful man in his mid-40s that got some damn money. You said not young, at least 5 years younger. I'm 56, Lee Bird. 5 years younger would mean he needs to be 51. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said they got to be in their 50s. You see what I'm saying? Because you would need to be 49 and a half or 49 and 3/4 about to turn 50. You see what I mean? 5 years younger for me is 51. If I was in the 40s, I'd be 10 years. Hi, Ansel. Good morning. I even asked my son, I said, Roundtree, because I call him by his last name. I said, how would you feel if I dated a guy in his 40s? He was like, He was like, nope. You see? I asked my son, I said, how would you feel if I showed up with a man in his 40s? He was like, He was like, nope. He said, I wouldn't like it. That's the age of my friends. And I said, oh, you sound like me when I was young. And my mother, right? But the one thing he don't have to worry about is me doing it. Now, I'm not dead yet. So, you know, I don't want y'all to look at me and I'll be, 65 and I end up with a man, in his 50s. Y'all be like, what you say? A lot could change when I'm in my 60s. I don't know. But right now, I can't fucks with that. So let me talk about September 16th and 17th. Johnny Leon Hill is not on here right now. And I'm still trying to figure out my plans for next weekend, right? Because the weekend is coming up on me real fast. I'm tempted to change my ticket to Sunday. I'm tempted to change my ticket to Sunday, but the only hesitation I have in that is the time I will get home Sunday night. That's the only hesitation I have in that. And I literally do not want to get home at midnight and have to deal with working the next day, right? And so, you know, I don't know. Ah, hillbilly, a Jedi. All right, I like it. I like it. Um, so I don't know exactly what day. I really want to do Saturday. I really, really do want to do Saturday, right? Um, and so I am watching Osaka. I'm watching it. I watched 2 episodes so far. I still got more episodes to watch, but then I got dragged into Invasion on Apple, and I'm liking that too. So I got to go back to Osaka. I do. I have to go back to there because let me tell you something, baby. They be fighting. They be fighting those Jedis. I don't really follow Star Wars all the way through and through, so I don't know the history of Ahsoka. I just watch it. I don't watch Star Wars in any order. I just watch them whenever. But I do like the storyline of Ahsoka, and I don't know if I'm saying her name right. The fuck. So, all right. So back to this play, The Rotten Apple. So we all know that Johnny Leon Hill is not performing in Saturday night's performance. He's going to perform on Sunday. I really wanted to see Johnny on Sunday, but that 4 o'clock time is fucking me up. Like if it was a 12 o'clock matinee, I would do it then and go home. And so I might have to do it Saturday night, the Saturday night show, keep my tickets at Saturday night and just hang out with Johnny. Because if I come Sunday, then we won't be able to go out drinking. We won't be able to celebrate Johnny Leon Hill. We won't be able to do that. And so I want to do a little bit of that too. So I'm still trying to figure out what my plans are for Maryland on September 16th, right? I have an extra ticket. If Damaris is not, because Damaris is might go, but if we go on Sunday, Saturday, if I decide to go on Saturday, I might give my second ticket because I bought 2 tickets because I didn't want just any old stranger sitting next to me. And I might give my second ticket to Brandy, who's already in the DMV area, and she's gonna buy a ticket, but she could take my ticket because I have good seats. I'm just saying she can get the ticket from me. So I will know by the end of the day whether I'm coming Saturday or Sunday, and I will know whether it's going to be Damaris and I, or if Brandy is going to take the ticket. For me, I'm just going to hop on the Amtrak and take an Amtrak in, book a hotel room for the night, and then come the fuck back. All right. That's it. And that's all. All right. And that's it. That was the announcement for September 16th. The other thing is we have our Houston trip in November 16th to November 20th. All right. November 16th to November 20th. We will be in Houston. All right. From the 17th to the 19th, we will be in Galveston, Texas at a beach house. We will be doing all our games there, our Friendsgiving, coffee with friends after dark, possibly wine tasting. Sunday, we're planning on doing the barbecue at the motorcycle club. And then Monday, say la vie, take your asses home. All right. Again, if you plan on coming to Houston, let me know. I have a list of names already. It's about 10 of us, which is perfect. About 12 people fit inside the beach house. But if we happen to have more, y'all just have to sleep on blow-ups or whatever the fuck. If you don't want to do that, you can get a hotel nearby and still participate in the shenanigans. If you are a person that feels you cannot get along with other people in the same house, book yourself a hotel room. It's okay. You can come over to the house. You can hang out all day, all night, but you can go back and sleep in your hotel room if you are one of those people that's going to start arguments, pick fights, and be annoying, right? If you are jealous, stay home because We're going to have a good time. Nobody is there for your man. Nobody is there for your woman. We're just there to have a good time. And again, Coffee with Friends After Dark is going to be happening in live and in person. And so everybody's going to be there in their lingerie and their bare naked chests out and their underpants. And we're going to be talking about risque conversations and all kind of stuff in person, up and close, right? We might even play some games. Coffee with Friends After Dark. We might play some games like sexual position musical chairs. Being that we in person, we can do what we want. Imagine that. I learned that from Hito. Sexual position musical chairs. That's when you put the music on and the girls are in front, the guys going around in a circle, and the guys are in the back of the women, and we're going around in a circle and the music is playing, right? When the music stops, it don't matter. Whoever you're in front of or whoever's in back of you, both of y'all got to freeze in a sexual position. Okay? And if you get caught moving, you're out. All right? The last person standing gets a gift, or humping or bumping or whatever the fuck they doing gets a gift. And so let me write that shit down because I be forgetting shit. Oh, I don't have my book in here right now. Oh, I can write it on this and I can transfer it over because I need to make sure that I have my activities. Houston, Coffee with Friends After Dark, right? Sex positions, musical chairs. Oh, and listen. At some point, the circles get smaller and smaller, and so you might end up in front of a woman. You might end up it don't matter. Whatever it is, when the music stops, you got to go into a sexual position. That's going to be one of our Coffee with Friends After Dark. And then we'll have another game. What's it called again? What is it called again? Have I ever? Have you ever? Have you never ever? I have never such and such. Like I have never had a threesome, and you take a shot if you have, right? Take a shot if it's true for you. Okay? Take a shot if it's true for you. All right? And so have I ever? That's going to be a game. So Coffee with Friends After Dark is going to be interesting. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be conversational. Never have I ever. That's what it is. Never have I ever. Never have I ever. Okay, those are going to be two games that we play during Coffee with Friends After Dark, right? The sexual positions don't have to be real explicit, goes. I mean, somebody could just be bent over in front of you or whatever the case may be, lay down the ground with their legs. You know what I mean? It don't have to be that explicit, all right? You don't have to go all out. And don't worry, nobody going to lick Fancy's cootie cat or run their finger through the crack of her butt. You ain't got to worry, all right? And if we do, love us for it. The fuck? I might touch Fancy a little bit. I mean, I come with the shits. And I just mean it with love. I mean, I play a lot. I might touch anybody. But it's with love. I come with the shits. That's why I say don't come near. People will get the impression that I fucks a lot. And I don't. I just play a lot. I have a very playful way about me. And so, Ghost, don't be scared. All right? Don't be scared if I flip Fancy over my shoulder. Don't be scared. All right? But let's get into some chatter for the day. All right? Yesterday, we talked about the independence of the Black woman. Right? And it was a lot of information to take in, but I walked away from that with some good insight, right? Because although we don't necessarily like what some of the comments said yesterday, it's true. It's factual. This is how people are thinking, right? And in order for us to mend all the things that have been broken, we have to deal with the truth, even when the truth hurts us, right? And so if there's a population of men walking around considering women based on the love and hip hops and the social media influences as the average, we have to figure out how do we change the dynamics of that, right? Also, men are walking around feeling like women don't need them, and they vocally express that. I don't need you. I don't need you. And what we found yesterday in our conversation is that when women use the word need, okay, in a sexual position with the other person, whoever's in front of you, because we're going around in a circle, right? So, we're going around in a circle. So whoever is in front of you. Now, if it winds up being two girls, that's not gonna be a big deal. But two guys, I know y'all gonna be y'all gonna just get kicked out. That's what's so funny about it. All right. And so it'll be fun, Ghost. I'm telling you, it'll be fun. All right. What was I just fucking talking about? You know what? Look at Ghost. I'm surprised. Is it because you scared Fancy gonna be on you or on somebody else? Is that what it is, Ghost? All right, you can sit that one out. You can sit that one out. All right. And miss all the fun in that one because you think it's not going to be as bad as you're thinking, Ghost. I mean, especially if, we all there innocently. We're not trying to get with Fancy. The fuck? Okay. I said I come with the shits. See, these are the kind of games and shit I learned when I went to Hedo. And that's what I appreciate about Hedo is because I used to be like that goes, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want nobody. But let me tell you something. When we played that game at Hedo, I'll never forget this woman. She just, we were playing the musical sex positions. And I looked over and my ex had, well, he wasn't my ex then. He picked the girl up and put her on his shoulder, but his head was facing me. He was looking at me on this side. And I was like, and I'm looking at him like, why are you looking at me? Right? Why are you looking at me? I thought he was looking at me because I did something. But after the game was over, he said, I picked her up on my shoulders and she ain't had no drawers on. I was like, oh my God. And you know what's crazy? That was the same lady who was dancing around on the pole later on that night. I can't say names. But one couple that was there with us, this lady was dancing around on the pole and she had no panties on. And the guy, I was standing next to one of the guys that was traveling with us. And I was like, please don't look because I don't think your wife is going to be able to take it. Please don't look. But we were all looking because I'm a look. You dancing around the pole, you ain't got no drawers on. I'm a fucking look. I don't give a fuck. I like looking. I'm a look. Okay. He turned around and he looked. Baby. His wife must have flew over there in nanoseconds and slapped the fuck, grabbed him up, took him to the room and slapped the fuck up out of him. And the only reason why we knew he got slapped was because me and I can't say names went over to the room we went to their room to find out if they were all right. Because members be on this show. I can't say their names. We went over to the room to see if they were all right. And me and the other young lady that was there with me listening through the door. And all we hear is them arguing. And we heard slap, slap, slap. I was like, oh shit. We decided not to knock on the door. We went down back to the rest of the crowd. And then we saw the wife come out of the room, down the stairs, go to the front desk. And we saw that she had her passport in her hand. So me and the other young lady got back up, went over there and was like, what are you doing? She was like, nah, I'm trying to get a flight. I'm the fuck out of here. We were like, listen, we told y'all. We made an announcement to everybody. If y'all are traveling with us to Hedo, you got to know it's sexual energy in Hedo. It's sexual energy in Hedo, right? It's scratch, sniff, and smell. Scratch, sniff, and smell porno. Like you there touching the shit. Okay? And if you can't handle it, do not book the trip. They said they can handle it. But you know what? Everybody can't handle having that sexual energy out in public. I learned that I loved it. I loved all the games because you know what? When I got back to the room that night, I fucked hard. Like, you couldn't do me hard enough. Like, it was never enough. Like, I was ready to wear out the eggplant. Like, the eggplant was like, I swear it could have been shriveled up prunish by the time I was finished, because it was so much sexual energy that all I wanted to do was go back and explore all this with my partner. I'm just saying. I found out that I loved it. I loved every bit of it. So I'm just saying, if we should ever do a trip to Jamaica, good morning, Knowledge. If we should ever do a trip, and Knowledge traveled with us already. Knowledge was at the Cancun trip, so he know I come with the shits. I'm just a big ball of fun. I don't be doing nothing extra. I'm just a big ball of fun. And so I love shit like that. So when we come to Houston, I'm still bringing the same shit and the same energy to Houston in November. And so it'll be fun, Ghost, I promise you. It'll be fun, I promise you. So yesterday we talked about the independent woman and what that means to men. And what we learned was that men need to be needed. All right. And so we heard you fellas, you need to be needed. And so, and the ladies expressed yesterday that when we say we don't need a man, that doesn't necessarily mean we don't want a man, and we don't, it's not like we're saying we don't need him, but we could survive. I think the message gets crossed. What we're saying is we can survive on a day-to-day basis, with, without a man. And that's taken out of character. So one of the things that Damaris and a few other people were saying yesterday on the show was, what positive things can we say about women, right? What positive things can we say about women? And I'm going to go to my page because Pat shared something with me yesterday that I want to share here with you guys. Thank you, Pat, for sending that information over, but I'm going to share what you sent to me. This is positive information. All right. And so it's worthy to be shared. Okay. This is what Pat shared yesterday. So yesterday we talked about, in this current generation, the modern woman, right, is independent, showing her body, doing OnlyFans, walking around talking about they don't need a man. They got their own house, their own cars, they own this, they own that, and they're acting ratchet and naked and all kind of stuff. This was the stuff that was said yesterday about the modern woman, right? And so Pat did some research because, I know that people have a habit of creating their own stats based on the experiences in their lives versus actually going out there doing research on true stats, right? And I'm guilty of it myself, so I'm not saying I don't do it either, right? We do it in our conversation when we say most people, when we don't know most people, right? And people will argue, yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's like my ex, not my ex-husband, but my ex. He used to say to me, "Oh, all women are the same." How the fuck you know? All the women I introduced you to, you didn't know before I introduced you to them. So you didn't know those women, but you claim to know most women. But every woman I introduced you to, you didn't know. But in your conversation, you come out and say all women are the same or most women are the same. How do you know? Like, a lot of you didn't know me until you knew me, right? And so a lot of us get caught up in defining stats based on the 200 people we know. How many people do you think you know in your life? Truly know. Not how many people you walk by in the street or how many people you follow on social media, right? How many people do you know? Think about that for a minute. Okay. Pat said she did a Google research. In the US, 17% of Black women are in the process of starting a new business, compared to 10% of white women and 15% of white men. Motives for creating a new business include producing a source of income. But yet, when we talked yesterday, nobody mentioned these women. No, not one person mentioned the women that are out here with their businesses, right? That are grinding for their families, that are doing the right thing, right? All we talked about yesterday was the love and hip hop type women, the naked women, the women that are out here acting ratchet. And we are basing how women act based on that subset of population. But then based on stats that you could put your hands on and touch and feel, 17% of these Black women are starting new businesses, right? To create new income. And we're not talking OnlyFans, right? I have two businesses. I have this podcast and I have Body Butter. And I work a corporate job, right? Do I want to work a corporate job? Not really. I have to work a corporate job, right? I would rather just attend to my businesses. I need a man. The fuck? I need a man so that he could tell me, just focus on your businesses. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. All right. And so I just want to say there's more than the ratchet women out here, right? And I want more and more people to start focusing on and thinking about the positives of the Black woman, right? Because we heard all the negatives, right? We hear all the negatives all the time, but what are the positives? What are some positive influences, Black women, in your life? Like, I have a lot of females that have crossed paths in my life. Several of them own businesses. One woman I know, she owns a business in Brooklyn where they do the body sculpting and the, Botox injections and stuff like that. She owns a business doing that. I have another person in my circle that I know that owns a bunch of Phoenix suites. You know, those suites that people rent out for salon to do hair and stuff like that. I knew, and the same person that owns the Phoenix Salon Suites, when I first got introduced to her and her husband, they owned a whole chain of Popeyes. Okay. And so this couple been doing it up together as a couple. And that's power. These are beautiful Black women that I know that are doing something for themselves. Okay. I know Black women, there's one girl I always tease her because she's always been so frugal with her money, right? She's always been so good. She was single for so many years. She's now married. She's been married, about 5 years, maybe? If not a little less, maybe 5 years, right? And so I'm gonna tell you, she never had her belly out or nothing like that. And she's lived a great life and she makes money and she's got a good life, right? And so there's a lot of women in my life that have done some powerful things and are doing powerful things. And some of them are single and some of them have significant others. There's another woman I follow online, Wired Chick. I met her and her husband when I used to do the mud races, and they traveled from Orlando and ran a mud race with me here in the Bronx, New York. And I met them and I still keep in contact with them. And she does the costumes for like carnival and stuff like that. And she sews other things and different things of that nature. I love her work, right? These are women that are out there doing things, right? Black women that are out there doing things and not acting like what was described yesterday as the average and the norm for the Black woman, right? And so I want us to start focusing on the positive contributions that Black women provide to our communities instead of looking at the Sukianas and the the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B's and shit like that, and comparing us to them, the Erica Menes and the Jocelyn Hernandez's and these people. Don't compare us to them, because those are not the average, in my opinion. Right, Deb, right? Oh my God. It be scratching my ass. I be ready to check passports and travel history when I hear people say stuff like that. Most of these people are the same. Where have you been and who have you taken time to meet outside your area, baby? When the person said that to me and they didn't even have a passport, I was like, you don't even have a passport. Where have you been? That's a great point, Deb. When people say all people are alike or all women are alike or all men are, where have you been? You've been to the Bronx. You've been to Long Island. You've been to Staten Island. Where the fuck have you been? We're not talking about traveling around 5 boroughs. Okay? That's not everybody. Pat said, I also follow modern young Black men who are in business. When they share their knowledge, it is Black women who attend their courses, not many men. They admit that men need to get it together. Oh my God, Pat! You done went somewhere, because why are motherfuckers hating on Ace Metaphor? Ace Metaphor is one of those modern young Black men that are now, that has like a podcast presence, and he comes out and he talks about, things. I posted several of his videos on my page before, but the last video that had men up in their panties was the statement where he said, I am single until I'm not single, right? And he was right. He was like, people walking around these days and times, not sure if they single or not. Well, if your man didn't say, you my woman, and I'm exclusively dating you, and I'm committed to you, and there's no other women in my life, and there's no other options out there, then you are still single. Right? He said, because the facts are the facts. And a bunch of men have jumped on my post. This is on IG. The video is still out there. Y'all can go look at the history of the comments. The proof is in the pudding. Most of the men got on that post and they said, oh my God, he sounds like a girl. He want to be a woman. That's why he got mostly women followers. So Pat, you're not wrong when, it's a majority of Black women who follow and support these young Black brothers, okay, that are coming out and they're speaking about the truth, right? Because the guys that jumped on and said, oh my God, here we go with this shit. I said, well, is he lying? Is he lying? Are you irritated because he's telling the truth and you don't want us to know? Or do you truly not believe what he is saying? Why they be mad? And that's true, Pat. When these young Black men come out with their podcasts or their books and shit like that, most of the women follow them. For example, Michael Baisden has a new book out, right? And Kia, my girlfriend, who's also a very successful woman, just enrolled back into school for her MBA, working towards COO position in her job. I got friends, the women friends that are doing shit. Okay. But Michael Baisden has a new book out, and everybody knows Michael Baisden from the Maintenance Man book. Come on, y'all know. All right. His new book is called, and she's going to do a book club. It's called Don't Lie to Me. Okay. Let me see if they give me a little excerpt of what Michael Baisden does it again with another relationship book masterpiece that challenges readers to confront their own self-honesty. Many books have been written about why people lie and cheat. Michael says, but what about the lies we tell ourselves that opens us up to these narcissists? People can only manipulate you when you either don't know who you are or you feel underserving of what you want and need. The journey to transparency begins with being real with ourselves. And that truth will expose and eliminate people with bad intentions. Okay? So, this is the new book that Michael Baisden has out called Don't Lie to Me. It's in my cart on Amazon because I'm going to order the hard copy and I'm going to join in on the discussions with her and her book club. Now, if anybody on here is interested in reading a book, let me know. Order your book and I'll let you know when the book club starts. And I can invite you to it, or we could talk about the book here, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is. But don't lie to me. And let me tell you, how many men are reading Michael Baisden books? I don't know. But I for sure know that a lot of women support Michael Baisden. And a lot of men, based on how they respond to these guys on these podcasts that be coming out, letting these ladies know. Y'all men be like, shut the hell up. Oh, he's just another asshole. Or he just want these women to love him. But is he lying? Focus on the message. Ghost said, I personally feel like no one really listens to us when we talk yesterday. No, we did listen. And the day before, because we told y'all how certain things made us feel, or how we look at things. A lot of y'all. Yes. And I appreciate, no, we heard you, Ghost. We heard you. And so that's why I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you were on the show earlier or not. And I said I appreciated the honesty that came from you guys yesterday, you and Enigma, because even though it was hard to hear, right? You told us what it is, and we have to accept it, right? And so I did say that earlier. So when you say we wasn't listening, we were. Don't assume we were not listening, because we were. Okay. Started downplaying us and calling us insecure instead of recognize how we felt. Well, some of the behavior did come across as insecurity, but I'm not, hey Ghost, I'm not saying everything y'all said yesterday was crazy, because the reality of it all is, if this is how men feel, this is how they feel. And the reality is, we need to know it so
Yeah,
that
see, we
address
told
it.
y'all, but
Yeah.
when we told y'all though, every woman on here starts saying, "Oh no, y'all insecure." It's a bunch of insecurity floating around here, and that's why we don't talk to y'all. Because when we do, y'all start downplaying how we feel. You want to name call shit. This is why we don't talk. This is why men don't share their emotions. Because when they do, that's what y'all do. Man,
Okay, and I received that, right? But can I ask a question, right?
man,
All the stuff that was said about women yesterday, right? It's hard for us to hear that too.
see, but we also made it clear we weren't talking about you. We
No,
weren't
I
talking
know.
about you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We were talking about the modern woman of today, of today's modern women. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the difference though. You know what I'm saying? That's just like we know the difference between women and just bitches or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Like we know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And we speak on that. We were speaking on today's women. Now, if we want to just talk about women in general and who we know and shit like that, of course, yeah, we surround ourselves with the women that we feel like are better, and not the ones that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be the difference with that. Oh well, for with the conversation yesterday,
Yeah.
for only hearing certain things about the black woman and not the other black women.
Yeah.
Other black women, it's kind of like how the world goes. It's like they'll point out negativity about you before they point out the positivity. You know what I'm saying? That's how the world is. So it's
Yeah.
like we, as far as like men, the conversation we was having yesterday is more of pointing problems that we see today. But
Mhm.
that don't mean that that's what we're accepting. Clearly, that's not what I accepted because I didn't marry what I described.
That's true.
So, like I said, it's just we're only pointing out what's going on today. You know what I'm saying?
And
Not that we don't appreciate the other type of black women.
and Ghost, the thing is, like Pat said yesterday, even though we were going back and forth yesterday, it still was good because a conversation was had. No matter how emotional it got, no matter how some of us disagreed with some of the perspectives as others, but the bottom line is we needed to hear it, right? That's the bottom line. And even though we didn't like what we were hearing or whatever the case may be, like you said, men are telling us how they feel. And so we, women and men, both have to learn to listen, even when it's hard, right? Even when it's hard, we have to learn to listen, because having a conversation, like Pat said, is a start. And I appreciate when the guys get on here and they tell us how they feel, even if we don't like it. And yes, we responded with the insecurity comments and the different things of that nature. But I didn't say it with an intention to
But you
downplay what
know,
you were saying.
you know how we view that when y'all said it. When we come out and we say how we feel about certain things that women about us or whatever the case may be, it's just about anything. When we express that, then everybody jumping on to my, oh, it sounds like a whole bunch of insecurity. That right there not only makes us shut down, not want to tell you shit, but that also says to us that what I just said, you pretty much saying, nigga, I hear you, but fuck you, fuck what you talking about. Like, nigga, no, you need to man up, or you need to whatever. Like, that's what we hear. We don't hear, oh, I heard you. You know what I'm saying? That was my mistake. I didn't even think about it like that. Like, we ain't hear none of that shit.
Well, it's unfortunate, because you know what? That means to tell me that you wasn't really listening to the show, because I went back and replayed my show, and at the end of the show, I did thank y'all, and I did say I appreciated y'all perspective.
Well,
And
no, I didn't. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because it
in the
was
moment,
every
it's emotions.
it was every woman, every woman on this show. I'm like, oh, insecure. Sound like a bunch of insecurities. Insecure. Like,
So what
God
does that
damn.
tell you?
Huh?
What does that tell you, Ghost? Maybe there are a little bit of
That
insecurities,
tell me that women don't give a fuck how men feel. That's what that tell me.
or maybe there's some insecurities there.
See, it's still downplaying it. You still down? No, it's not that it's insecurities there.
See,
I just told you how we feel. It ain't no or it's insecurities, because see, you want me to lean towards what y'all were doing. No, there ain't no or. This what it is.
Deb said, I think the most bothersome for me is being made to feel bad for chasing the bag. What's wrong with wanting to better our plight? It's like now it's a bad thing. Is that how men feel?
Chasing the bag ain't the problem. It's when you won't. It's when you stop choosing men because he ain't got the bag that you want. You know what I'm saying? The bag you feel like you deserve. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these women out here feel like they deserve a 1% type of guy, or feel like they deserve a guy with a lot of money. A lot of women out here really feel like they deserve this type of guy when they don't bring shit to the table. They don't bring shit to the fucking table. You know what I mean? Like, nothing at all. Like, half these hoes barely even got high school education. And something about, oh, you got to come with a bag. You got, bitch, if you don't get your dumb ass out my face.
You know, I was watching, you know how they do those social experiments on social media all the time. And so there's a social experiment going around where this man is standing outside the grocery store. This is how we are as human beings, perspective, right? And this woman comes out the grocery store and he looks at her and he said, "Ma'am, I'm hungry. Can you feed me something out your cart?" And she said, "No, get out of here." He said, "I'm hungry." She said, "I'm hungry too." And she took her cart and went to put her groceries in the car. And he said, "But ma'am, I just want something out your cart to eat." And she was like, "No, get out of here." He went back to the front of the store. A gentleman came out. He said, "Sir, I'm hungry. Can I get something to eat? You want money?" He said, "No, I don't want any money. I just want something from your grocery cart to eat because I'm hungry right now." The man gave him a bag of whatever was in his cart. This guy said, "Sir, you giving me this bag to eat?" And he says, "Yes, you said you were hungry." He said, "Because you offered me this bag, I'm going to give you whatever your groceries cost in this cart." And he gave it to him, right? And then the old lady came back over there and she was like, "Oh, you want something out my cart?" He said, "No, you didn't want to give me anything out your cart because you looked at me and you assumed other than based on how I am, right? Or based on how you perceived me to be. And so you're lost." And so I think that, I'm saying that to say that a lot of times I think we put our expectations on things that we have no business putting our expectations on, right? And when you talked about women that don't have shit, that think that they deserve men with a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me a real life experience where that has happened to you?
Me, but oh yeah, Okay.
I'm just curious.
Just like and it kind of happened just like one of them social experiments that you see on that you see online. I was trying to like shoot my shot at this chick in the store, and because I was like just in some regular clothes, like I want to say I think I was either working on a car, working on a bike at the time or whatever. So you know I looked a little dirty, and she ain't want to even give me the time of day. When I saw it and she saw my car, now it was the green Mustang. You know what I'm saying? Everything on it was fine. It was no scratch, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like bitch, sexy, loud, all kind of shit, fast and everything. She seen the car, then all of a sudden she wanted to talk to me. Bitch, I don't want you now. I don't want
Yeah.
you now. You know what I'm saying? Because now you want me because of what I got. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that you already not in it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah. Now I have seen some social experience like that where a guy try to talk to a girl and she don't want to talk, and then she see his car and she want to talk to him after that because he looked
Mhm.
like he got some money. And I'm gonna tell you, Ghost, I do have, now ladies, don't get mad at me. I do have a few female friends in my life that I've had to level set because they don't be having shit, and they be like, oh, my man better, buy me this, or my man better be buying me that. And when I literally, some of them are my friends, I be like, really, you can't even buy yourself that, right? And so I feel like women, yes, we have to be conscious in how we present ourselves, because there are a population of women that do have expectations of men to buy them expensive stuff, take them to expensive dinner. There was an interview, another thing online, where this guy said, how much should a man spend on you on a first date? And this bitch said $1,000. I was like, what? On a date? Like, where are people going that they're spending $1,000, and who comes up with a figure of how much it should cost to date you on the first date? I
See,
have
she
some
wanna,
friends that I can level set.
that's the type that want to go to Del Frisco's, order the lobster, the crab, and all kind of bottles of champagne. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, whew. And that be a lot
And
of them though.
that's okay if that's what they're doing by themselves. But don't ask a man to do something for you that you can't even afford to do for yourself. I'm on that. Like, I will never get with a man and be like, you need to buy me all this name brand shit, when I know that at this point in my life, I'm not even buying myself these name brand shits. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I get it. So, Debbie, back to your chasing the bag. I think that there's two different chasing the bags. There's the chasing the bag, what Ghost explained, like when women are just chasing the bag for the men that have the bag. And then there's chasing the bag because you want to do better in your personal life, right? You're not dependent on the man to come into your life and bring that bag. You bring in the bag too. Pat said, how cool is this? An influencer named 19 Keys said, if my black woman offered me advice or tells me something I don't know, I would eat it up like a gourmet meal because this compliments me. Ooh. How y'all
Fact.
feel about that?
I mean, that's the same thing we said yesterday. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, it's supposed to be a team. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, if your idea is better, we're gonna go with yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Working
right,
together
gotta
as
go. I'm
a
running
team.
behind.
And he's not, and you said his name is 19 Keys. If my black woman offered me advice or tells me something I don't know, I would eat it up like a gourmet meal. How many women in here have found it impossible to give their man advice? I couldn't give my ex advice to save my life. Anything that I told him, he felt that I didn't know shit. And it used to always bog my mind down because I'm like, I'm from the streets and I got education. So I got both. And you only have the streets. You don't even have the full education. And you looking at me telling me I don't know shit. When I give you advice, there is a population of men that just do not take their women's advice. Why is that? My ex would not take my advice. He felt like I didn't know. He knew everything. Women didn't know anything. Right. And so when 19 Keys says this, to me, that's powerful. Michelle said, give advice all the time, but my late hubby pushed back all the time. You see, Michelle, you too? So explain that, fellas. Why do some men have a hard time taking advice from their women? I need answers. What's the problem with taking advice from your woman? Because my ex wouldn't take any advice. Oh, I thought I heard somebody coming through my door. I was getting ready to say, what? I need a man. What does being from the hood now? Okay, 2023. Ansel, are you asking what does it mean being from the hood now? Is that what you're asking? What does it mean being from the hood now? I don't know. Is it not the same as before? Is it different? I thought it was the same. Did it change being from the hood? And so, what makes you ask this question? Are you seeing a difference? Michelle, you had his best interest at heart. I was like Olivia Pope in his life. Girl, some of these men, they don't, don't fight me on this, but I'm going to say this because in my experience, the Caribbean men I have dated operate like that, Michelle. I can't say all Caribbean men because I ain't date them all. But the ones that I have dated, they hate to take advice from women. I don't know what it is, but our advice is no good, right? Our advice is no good to them. And I don't know what that is. Anybody else experience that? And so what do you think being from the hood means these days and times? I'm 42. My mind has changed. I know that's right. How has your mind changed, Ansel, from prior to being 42? What was your mindset prior, and what is your mindset now? You had the same experience, Michelle, because that's my experience with West Indian men. They don't like to take advice from their women. Okay. And so there goes the answer to your question. What does it mean to be from the hood? It always means the neighborhood for Black folk. So interesting. So we don't call, like, when we say trailer trash, is that not the hood? I don't want to offend anybody, but is that not the hood? Because that's a good point. When we say the hood, are we talking about Black folk only? And if that's the case, right? Why do we call it the hood? I know it's short for neighborhood, but neighborhood and the hood has a different delivery. If I say I live in my neighborhood, if I say I live in the hood, people are like, oh my God, you live in the hood. Where did that come from? The hood. And do we think it only applies to Black neighborhoods? We all lived in the thug era. People still trying to hold on. You think so, Ansel? You think they trying to hold on? You think there's a population of people that can't move past the hood mentality? Is that what we're saying here? That's interesting. Because do we have to say we from the hood? Maybe if we change the dynamics of our language and start saying neighborhood instead of the hood, maybe our neighborhood would start to look different, move different, feel different. Why do we say the hood? I mean, I'm guilty. Like, I go to different areas and I'll be like, this the hood or this the ghetto, right? But why do we refer to it as the hood? Do you think if we change our language and the way we say stuff and define stuff, it would make situations a little bit better, mentality wise? And why do you think people are still trying to hold on to the dynamics of the hood? Behavior, environment, whatever. You know, do some people just like being in the presence of the hood? And what does that mean? And why does it only apply to Black neighborhoods? No, I don't think it's a difference. Um, okay, so Roy, I have a question. Does it make a difference having the street skills and education experience versus only having the street skills? I asked because I didn't place a lot of value on degrees. Great question. I don't know, right? I do think it matters when there's conversations being had, depending on the audience that you're around. I also did not place a lot of value on degrees. I didn't get my degrees until I was a full grown adult, and that was only because I got tired of competing against people that put college education on their application, and all I was putting on there was GED. And so I went back to school at a late age in my 30s, and I finished up to my master's, and the degree didn't help my career in any way, right? I think it keeps me in the building. I think it keeps people looking at my resume, but it didn't really help me in a way of advancement, I don't think, or money, right? But I do think once I got my degree, and I would be in conversations depending on the audience that I was around, whether it's my coworkers or whatever, and they got into certain conversations, it mattered because they would start talking about things that I learned through the process of getting my degree, right? They would have conversations that I wasn't normally having when I was just hanging out with my street skill friends. They wasn't having those type of conversations. So I was able to sit at multiple tables and hold conversations at various levels, streetwise, educational wise. I think for me, that's the only difference that I saw. The reason why I scratched my head at my ex is because he used to always harp on the fact that he never saw me reading a book or he never saw me doing anything. And he always tried to play on my intelligence like I was stupid. And he would be like, oh, all women are the same and y'all don't know as much as us men. And that would make me scratch my head and go, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay. You were in jail and living with your mama when I was already out at 16 years old grinding in these streets that you say you have street smart. See, this is where the independent woman mouth come in, right? Because I'm gonna set you straight. I was already out in them streets grinding before you even entered the streets in that way. Okay, you entered jail and then you came out and you don't even have your high school diploma. All right, and so that's when I start questioning your validity of your knowledge, because don't attack mine. And so that was the only reason why I brought up to him that, listen, you don't even have, stop arguing with me because I have both. Okay, I can sit at both tables. I'm just saying. I don't know if that answered your question, but you know. Ansel said, just like people still want the same fame they had in high school. Well, man, yep. Let it go. Just let it go. Deb said, I have 2 degrees, but I get bogged down by these student loans and lack to pay for it. Me too. I'm like, these motherfuckers gonna have to come to my grave and visit me because what? But have I overlooked the perspective you gain from education and having advanced schooling? You know, like I said, my degrees didn't do shit for me but put me in debt, right? But for whatever reason, society in certain jobs, they need to see that you got some kind of paper behind you because they think that that makes you smarter, or maybe it shows that you have a certain level of discipline, that you were able to take your adult ass to school and live through that pain of going to school. I don't know because I was already doing the job that I'm doing before I had my degree. Ansel said it helped when I used the education from both Baltimore streets and streets in other countries. How, Ansel? How has it helped you? That's interesting. How has it helped? How has it helped you? Have a blessed day, Michelle. Pat said, how many years ago, laugh out loud, the hood was a wonderful place. We looked out for each other and had block parties, rent parties, took in families until they got on their feet. It was great. That part. I grew up in the hood. We were latchkey kids, knew how to come the fuck home when the street light came on, hung out. I went to basement parties, was grinding on the wall. We paid 50 cents to get in them. We had a great time in the hood. People, other adults, we didn't worry about safety because in the hood that I grew up in, it wasn't to each his own. Families on the blocks was looking out for everybody's kids, right? Something happened, a family would step in and deal with the situation. Not like today. I can't say everywhere, but today in my experience, people are in mind your business mode. They're not really in that same hood mentality mode like we used to be in when I was growing up, right? Everybody on the block, families got involved. If you got locked out of your house and you couldn't get in, you stayed in one of the families on the block house until your parents came home, right? If you did some whack shit, one of the parents on the block would come out and scold your ass. And we didn't have parents that came home and cussed our neighbors out for scolding, saying, don't fucking yell at my kid. Don't put your hands on my kid. It wasn't like that. Okay? If my mother found out that somebody in the neighborhood, one of the neighborhood mothers had to tell me something, so what? You better hope I don't get beat twice. That was the hood I grew up in, right? That was the hood I grew up in. I miss those days too. Right, Deb? I had no idea how drastically times would change me either. Now nobody look out. Nobody. It's like, I ain't see nothing. I don't want to be bothered. No. I don't care. It's different. Ansel said, people change when they're going to open on their own. People change when they are going to open. I don't know what that means, Ansel. I don't know what that means. But definitely times have changed. How do we get back there? Ask yourself, how do we get back to a community, right? And this is extended from yesterday. Yesterday was about the Black woman, but how do we get back to community, right? Just think about on your block where you live right now, right? Like, one of the things that I love about my son is that when he walks around his neighborhood, he speaks to the homeless people. He speaks to everybody. He'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so, or that's so-and-so. That's my homegirl. And it'd be a homeless lady. That's my homegirl. She's so-and-so. She come around all the time. He talked to people he live in the hood, right? And he don't look down on nobody. He talked to everybody. Okay, I told y'all he almost got into a big old fight trying to protect the homeless person, right? And so for me, the question is, what change can you make right now where you live, right? How can you add to your community? One person at a time, one neighbor at a time. What can you do in your neighborhood to make things better? Like, I live in a building, but still living in the building, I can still do things to make things better. Like, for me, when I see Jello, she's my neighbor that lives across the hall. When I see a package for Jello, I bring it upstairs and I put it in front of her door. Okay? There's Jello and there's another gentleman on my floor. When they see my packages, they bring it upstairs and they put it in front of my door. We talk to each other. When I was sick with COVID, Jello came and dropped groceries at my door. Okay? I have dropped stuff at her door. Okay? And so we look out for each other. All right? We take care of each other. All right? A couple of weeks ago, my alarms was going off. Okay? I went and knocked on Jello's door. to find out what was going on. I thought the whole building, to come to find out it was just my smoke detectors that was going off, right? And so what can you do in your neighborhood, in your building, on your block today to start building back that community perspective? Can you start? Because we have to do something, right? And it starts with one person at a time, right? So what can you do? Like, I know, for example, the cookout, the barbecue that I went to, the fete party that I went to on Sunday for Labor Day, I'm pretty sure the neighbors on the block were in that backyard with us. Like, that's a good thing. Like, if you own a house and you're giving like a little barbecue or a backyard, to get to know your neighbors, invite your neighbors over. Invite your neighbors over. Get to know each other. Look out for each other. When I lived in Sparta, New Jersey, when I had my house, there was a neighbor 2 houses from me, and I told this story before, that was climbing in people's windows, robbing them because he was on drugs, right? And the neighbor across the street, who was a police officer, let us know. He was like, listen, when you travel out of town, make sure you are locking your shit. If you get deliveries while you are out of town, me and my wife can come and pick your deliveries up and bring it to the house. You could just, when you come back from your trip, just knock on our door and we'll give you all your stuff, because we don't want anything to happen while you're away, right? This is the neighborhood looking out for each other. And even when that guy ran through the drugs, got arrested eventually, the woman that he left behind in the house, the people in the cul-de-sac supported her. They didn't have to support her financially because she came from money, but emotionally, right? They didn't sit aside and go, oh, you know that girl, her man was on drugs and so and so for the bomb. They came out, they supported her emotionally. She came out to the little cul-de-sac parties, the little get-togethers and stuff like that. We supported each other on that little cul-de-sac. And it was about 12, 13 houses in that cul-de-sac. Support each other. What can you do to make a difference in your community? Mother, you said you talk to everybody and the homeless. Ansel said it helped. Oh, it helped when The Wire came out on HBO because it explained my mindset. Wow. Okay. Deb said, Raw, I saw another upsetting video of an elderly Black woman being beat with a cane. And of course, no one helped. Just film. This world can truly be heartbreaking. Oh my God. I didn't see that video, Deb. I didn't see that video. You see, the hood that I was from, this would not happen back in the day. This would not happen without somebody getting involved. Sandy said, on my floor, we know each other's doors when we have packages at the door. Yes, when I was in Florida, if mother would see packages sitting in front of her neighbor's doors, and she would pick up the package and bring it into her house and be like, I don't want nobody to steal this person's package. What can we do? What little changes can we do to make a difference in our communities? That's the question out here for y'all today. All right, I'm going to move to closure on my show because I have meetings to get to. I have things that I need to do. But I love y'all. Happy Thursday. Y'all know what tomorrow is, right? Tomorrow is Freestyle Friday. We are already going back into the weekend. And I love it. All right. And I love it. So with y'all, listen, the last bit of announcements, I announced it at the beginning of the show. I'm announcing it now again. September 16th and 17th is the Rotten Apple Play in Maryland. All right. Be there or be square. Okay. Johnny is not performing in the Saturday show. He's performing in the Sunday show. I'm still trying to decide whether I'm going to be there Saturday or Sunday. I really want to be there Saturday. Even if I ultimately go to the Sunday show, I think I'm still going to come in Saturday and spend the night. I'm still thinking about this. I need till the end of the day. I might still come in Saturday because I want to meet Johnny and I want to meet Johnny's wife and I want to have some drinks and spend some time with them, right? Johnny has been supporting the show and I do not want to rush in and rush back out. And so even if I change my tickets to Sunday, I still might come in Saturday evening, spend the night, spend the day in Maryland Sunday. Liebert, I don't know if he's still on here. I don't know how far Liebert's restaurant is from Bowie, Maryland, but I would like to visit his restaurant while I'm there. All right, Brandy, who is a member of Coffee with Friends, she is also going to come to the show. If I do not give my ticket away, Brandy is going to take my ticket, right? And I will not, even though I will be traveling alone, I will not be alone once I get to Maryland. All right. And so I'm still deciding whether I'm going to the Saturday show or the Sunday show, but I think either way, I'm going to show up Saturday in Maryland because I do want to spend the time. And I'm not driving. I'm taking the train. All right. Because I don't want to drive. I don't. I know it's not that far of a drive, but I don't want to. I just don't. And with that, y'all, love and peace. So September 16th, 2 weeks from now, we will be in Bowie, Maryland, supporting Johnny Leon Hill for the Rotten Apple play. All right. And with that, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all to live out the rest of the day with peace of mind. But think about how you can be better in your community. What changes can you implement right there on your block? Don't think outside your block. Within your block, within your building even, right? If you live in a building, within your building, how can you change the dynamics of what community looks like in your space? All right? Think about that. Okay, that's food for thought. But in the meantime, between time, if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube video, make sure you do that. All right? But you know what I say, no matter how low, you can still what?
Even when you feel low, you can still go.
You can.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
Yep.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
Yep.
I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And I don't. This is Coffee with Friends, and I'm Roar to be bold. Peace and love, y'all. Remember, you can make a difference. Get this message on the way out. Hey, hustle hard. I'll be making moves. Hey, I've been doing shit my way on the highway.
And in the driveway, it's a nice way. It's a grind through the climb, I invite.
Hey,
Never huge bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and
hey,
update.
anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients to believe what?
We'll see what the negativity.
But I just slide right by that energy. Hey, even when you feel
Low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow,
and you can, y'all.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never answered a no man. That's what the positive thought said today. You can still go, y'all. Just surrender. All right, to those dark times in your life. You can still go. And with that, I'm out. Bye, y'all.